Good morning, my name is Jakabit. Welcome back to another tutorial. This is music production guide. For most of us that are joining us new in this channel, we welcome you. Kindly subscribe, click the notification bell, give us a like and share and comments. Stay back in this channel because we do upload such content every week, Monday and Friday, so stay back. For those that are returning as a subscriber, for our returning subscribers, we still welcome you. Thank you for being part of this community. So without wasting our time, let's go straight into the video. Today's lecture is going to be based on mixing your lead vocals with just your compressor, DAP tube, your pitch correct, and your EQ. Just mixing your lead vocals is the lecture for today. So before I start this lecture, I want to make an emphasis. Now, to get a good recording, or rather to get a good lead vocal recording, we'll first of all start on how you placed your microphone during recording. Some people don't know how they position their microphone, and at times the microphone do have a sound, a pop sound that goes into the mic and making the recording not to be smooth. Most times they do record in a noisy environment. They don't use a very good soundproof instrument on their recording studio or on their home studio, making the recording not to sound good. So these are the small major tips. I call it small major tips because they are very essential that you must have to consider the environment you are recording before you start recording. Consider the type of mic you use. Consider the type of DAW you use while recording. Most times, many people do use an iPhone to record and they bounce it and bring it to another DAW and want to achieve a very good mix, which is wrong. So make sure you use a very professional mic during your recording. Is going to make your mix very powerful. So without wasting time, let's go straight into the tutorial for today. I'm talking about us mixing our lead vocal with just your compressor, your DAP tube, and your pitch corrector. The most emphasis I want to make on this topic is using a pitch corrector. A lot of people neglect this powerful tool, pitch corrector, which is this. They neglect it, and sometimes it do have a lot of effects on your vocals. Most times you see someone singing a very deep voice, but once you apply this pitch corrector on the voice, it helps to smooth the pitch, it helps to smooth the vocal and makes it more enhanced and very comfortable and pleasant to the ear. So that's the most important powerful plugin that we'll be using for today's tutorial. So now we'll be using compressor, we'll be using DAP tube. I already talked about the pitch corrector, stereo imaging, that is stereo expander. You can use stereo expander on any stereo expanding plugin, can still serve. Then you can still make use of your EQ, though I use a stock plugin EQ. So already without wasting time, let's go to the major aspect of this tutorial, which is using our pitch corrector. So before then, let's play to see how it sounds with the let's see how it sounds let's see the final mix, how it sounds then we'll play without some of the plugins being tuned on, then we'll continue on how I was able to trick it into achieving this type of mix. So listen.
When I open my mouth to sing, make people say I get something want to say. Yeah. Give me the power to pray, and another power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make people confess, I get something to say. Nobody go put me down, nobody go fit to see my glory. Nobody go put me down, you know that I am a child of God.
So this is the final mix. So before I start showing you guys how I was able to manipulate this pitch corrector and other plugins I use, I have to say something. Now you see, mixing is just an art. It's an art that involves you creating and recreating. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen a perfect mix. Even those that have mixed professional songs, you know, some Grammy winning awarding songs, will still tell you that this is not their best. You see, that's to tell you that every mixing engineer always wants to achieve better than what he did, meaning that there's no perfect mix. What you should be very focused on is the amount of creativity you are adding into your mix. At times you may see a natural voice, a different natural voice, and you may try to tweak it to sound a different up from what the original voice sounds. It may end up being the thing that is going to make the song sell. Try to do different thing altogether. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'll play this song without the pitch corrector. Then you see the original voice used to record this song. Then I'll add the pitch corrector to see the difference. So I'm playing without the pitch corrector, so you see the original voice.
Oh God, give me the power to pray, I don't have power to sing. When I open my mouth to sing, make people say I get something want to say. Yeah. Give me the power to pray, and another power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make people confess, I get something to say. Nobody go put me down, nobody go fit to steal my glory. Nobody go put me down, you know that I am a child of God.
You see, this is the original voice. Then let me add the pitch corrector. You see the difference.
Oh God, give me the power to pray, I don't have power to sing. When I open my mouth to sing, make people say I get something want to say. Yeah. Give me the power to pray, and another power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make people confess, I get something to say. Nobody go put me down, nobody go fit to steal my glory. Nobody go put me down, you know that I am a child of God, not money.
You see, the difference between the first one I played and this one is that the first one had more of my natural voice. Actually, I was the one that sang this. So it has my natural voice, that deep natural voice. But once I apply this pitch corrector, it makes it more filtered, makes it more filtered. So try everything possible to create different stuffs of the way it sounds originally, because why I say that is because some of the most awarding songs actually doesn't sound original the way it sound when the artist recorded it. It was just a act of creativity that made the mixing engineer to be able to tweak some voices to sound the way it was sounding, and which is one of the criteria that made it a hit song. So what I'm trying to say in that sense is that you should try everything possible to create and recreate. It help you, and it's gonna help you to achieve a lot of mix. So without wasting time, I will tell you, or rather I will teach you how you can go on using your pitch corrector. Now, after you might have added your EQ on your individual audio tracks, which is what I've done. I did mostly. See, one thing about me is that I do more of subtractive EQ and a little bit of additive EQ. You know, once you're done with your subtractive EQ, then the next thing you should focus on is adding other plugins. I've already trained you guys on how you can use your NS, that is noise suppressor, and the auto tune and all of that. In case you haven't go through the video, go down to our old videos. You see the tutorials about it, how to use them. So now the focus of today's lecture is how you can use your pitch corrector to manipulate getting a clear sound, a different sound that makes you more creative. So now, after adding all your individual plugins on your individual audio channels, that is your lead tracks, then the next thing you have to do is go to your group. You first of all do a compressor, a classic. I love this compressor very well. Make sure you turn down the threshold, increase the ratio, and get a balanced compressed vocal, whereby if you notice that the makeup gain or the level output of the compressor need to be adjusted up or lesser, then you can use it. Then work on the attack and work on the release. For this, I will show you how I use this compressor, classic compressor, to achieve this on my group track. So let's play. When I open my mouth to sing, make people say that is within the compressor. So I'm off without the compressor, and you see how it sounds. That is without the classic compressor. I'll turn the compressor on. Nobody go put me down, you know that I am a child of God. Not mommy. You see, once the compressor comes, you see the difference. I'll play without the compressor and I'll play with the compressor. Listen with the compressor. Oh, God, give me the power to break. I love the power to sing. When I open my mouth to sing, make people say there's something want to sing. Yeah. Give me the power to break. And I know the power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make people confess it, yes, I'm the same. So let's play without the compressor, you see the difference. Oh God, give me the power to break. I love the power to sing. When I open my mouth to sing, people say I got something want to sing. Yeah. Give me the power to break. And I know the power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, making people confess it. You see, that is without the compressor. It sounds very harsh to the ear. So once you were able to compress the vocal, it will sound like this. Remember, the pitch corrector is not on yet. Oh God, give me the power to break. I love the power to sing. When I open my mouth to sing, make people say I got something want to sing. Yeah. Give me the power to break. And I know the power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make people confess it, yes, I'm the same. You see, so with the compressor being placed on, you see that it compresses the vocals and make it not to be enhanced like shouting. So the next you have to do is you add your DAP tool. Although this is I just have to use the one distortion, the preset that comes with it. Then the next thing is that you go to your pitch corrector. Your pitch corrector. So I'll play without the pitch corrector being added, then play with the pitch corrector I've added. to see the difference, and I'll tell you how I was able to manipulate to use it. Without the pitch corrector.
When I open my mouth to sing, make people say I got something want to say. Give me the power to pray, and another power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make people confess I got something to say.
So now adding with the pitch corrector, you see how it sounds.
Give me the power to pray. When I open my mouth to sing, make people say there's something want to sing. Give me the power to pray, and another power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make people confess there's something to say.
You see, it makes it more filtered. If you notice the difference when the pitch corrector is switched on, you see the difference, and when it's switched off, you see the difference. So what I'm trying to say is that pitch corrector is a very strong plugin that a lot of mixing engineers don't use. So you should start to use it and know how to manipulate it. Okay, the only vital thing which I used on this my pitch corrector is just my scale source, my shift, and my optimized. These are the major 3 points I use on this pitch corrector. Other parameters that comes with this pitch corrector is not needed at this particular point. So what I do is that you must have to get the key of the song, which is okay. Let me first put it on a default mode, so you guys will see how it looks. So I'm adding the pitch corrector afresh. So this is how it comes when you add the pitch corrector. So the next thing you have to do is that you go to your scale source, and you see that is already on a scale type of chromatic, which you know is not a chromatic. A chromatic is a scale that has a combinations of the major and minor scale. Is not basically a major scale or a minor scale. So what you have to do is you click on the chromatic scale and select the major scale in which your song falls into. For this particular one, it falls into a major scale, so I have to click it. Then it brought out the root note. The root note in the sense that what is the key of the song. So if actually you know the key of your song and you know the scale of your song, you can go straight to do it. For this particular job, the key of the song, it falls on E and the scale is on major. So what I did was, normally it was on 0. So what I did, it was I have to increase. As you're playing, you'll be increasing. So in the normal number is 0. Remember, you place it on male. If it's a female, you put it on female. But since it's a male, it's on male. Then you increase this shape. Watch and see.
Nobody go fit to steal my glory. Nobody go put me down. You know that I am a child of God. Nobody need to find out.
I don't really want to tweak it up and up so that the flavor of the vocal, the texture of the vocal will be missed. So I decided to make it 20. At times, you can decide to make it 10, 15, depending on your choice or the type of song you want to mix. Remember, I said mixing is an art of creating. There's no formula to a mixing. Is your listening ear and the ability for you to create what has not been in existence. So we have finally used these parameters, the scale source, the shift, the optimizer, to achieve a very great tune on this texture of the vocal. So let's play and listen how it sounds.
When I open my mouth to sing, make it people say there's something want to sing. Yeah. Give me the power to pray, and I know the power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make it people confess it, yes, I'm the same.
So you see, it's it sounds so wonderful, so very good, so very clear. So the next thing I did was to make sure that the voice has been expanded. The stereo voice I want it to expand. Let it not just be clustered at the center. So that's why I use this plugin called BT Stereo Imager. So actually, I go straight to use the preset. Then you play and listen if you should increase it or reduce the expander, the stereo expander. I like to call it expander because actually it expands the stereo. So let's play.
When I open my mouth to sing, make it people say there's something want to sing. Yeah. Give me the power to pray, and I know the power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make it people.
So if you understand now the difference, I'll play without the stereo imager, then I'll play with the stereo imager, then you see the difference. So now without the stereo imager, listen.
Oh God, give me the power to pray, and I know the power to sing. When I open my mouth to sing, make it people say there's something want to sing. Yeah. Give me the power to pray, and I know the power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make it people confess it, yes, I'm the same.
So now let me play with the stereo imager so you see the difference.
Oh God, give me the power to pray, I know the power to sing. When I open my mouth to sing, make it people say there's something want to sing. Yeah. Give me the power to pray, and I know the power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make it people confess it, yes, I'm the same. Nobody go put me down, nobody go fit to see my glory.
Very wonderful, very wonderful. See what wonders that stereo imager did. It gave the vocal enough, it expand the vocal into your left or right ear, and this is what the powerful tools did. We are able to achieve this lead vocal mixed down properly using these simple tips. So if you find this tutorial helpful, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Click like and comment, and please share so that those people that needed to be trained will be trained. If actually you need to be trained as a music producer, or you have a track or anything, any mix down, or you have a track you want us to mix for you, you can write me down or send me a message on my email, then I'll reply you back. Please kindly subscribe, click the notification bell so you miss any of our content in the nearest future. I do post amazing stuff every Monday and every Friday. I remain your humble producer, Jakabit Jackson. Stay blessed.
When I open my mouth to sing, make it people say there's something want to sing. Yeah. Give me the power to pray, and I know the power to sing. So when I open my mouth to sing, make it people confess it, yes, I'm the same. Nobody go put me down, nobody go fit to see my glory. Nobody go put me down, you know that I am a child of God.